what sick shit in your head made you get into fighting?
So I grew up wrestling, and I'll always have that. Like I said, that's my blood. I could be like, I could blast double anybody at any time. I feel like, because it's in my blood.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's so natural to me. So growing up wrestling, that for sure helps and gives you an edge on it.
How do you even internalize that, man? How do you even process it when your parents die at a young age?
I'm officially on the part of my life where I've spent more time without my dad than with my dad. So like, that definitely hits hard for sure. So saying that, 13 years after, I would say like the first 4 years, all of high school is it's just like a blur. It's a mess. And like a perfect example of that is probably for like the first 4 or 5 years after my dad died, I would always tell people that he died when I was 12. He died when I was 12. That's what I thought.
Because you were so young.
Well, that's just like, that was like the number in my head. And then literally like maybe 4 or 5 years later, I did the math and I was like, I was 13 when my dad died. I wasn't 12. I was 12 when he was sick.
So, dude, me and Cam, we were talking about, he's now one of Merab's training partners along with, a few other guys. And we were just talking about that, man. So just like Nas, Nas is a fighter that trains with us at Syndicate. He also trains with Merab and you.
When he's fighting in a couple weeks.
He is fighting in a couple weeks. And we were talking about him training with Merab. I'd like your insight, because you went to Canada with him. Man, you train with him constantly now.
Yeah.
He's to a lot of people, especially not in Vegas and don't train at Syndicate MMA, shout out. I mean, fuck, it's Merab. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? He's gotten to the top.
Yeah.
Bantamweight champion. Can you talk a little bit about training with Merab and the ins and outs? Just tell me about it, man.
Yeah, I'll continue on with what we were kind of just talking about. But the cool thing about Merab is he treats everybody the same. He doesn't walk around like most champions. Most champions, they roll around with the posse.
Yeah.
They got 5 people with them, a camera crew, all this stuff. Merab shows up late most of the time, but we love Merab. But he shows up, by himself. He hops on the mat and gets straight to work with with everybody. So that's one cool thing about Merab. But me's training with him specifically, I don't know what it was.
Give me the depths, man. Give me the inside scoop.
Man, that's the thing. There's really no inside scoop with Merab. Everybody sees it. Everybody sees it on fight night, just how good he is on fight night. But the thing with Merab is that I've always said what I think makes Merab so special is he performs his best on fight night. He doesn't perform his best in the room. He has great cage rounds. He whoops up on me all the time in cage rounds and everybody else and does 5, 6, 7 rounds of sparring. But even still, as good as his cage rounds are on fight night, for me seeing it from kind of knowing what the game plan is and knowing how we're going to attack this fight, Merab is his best on fight night. He follows the game plan to such a T.
No way.
To such a T. It's literally like Coach Wood is playing a video game and Merab is doing it right away. It's that good, especially like I said, knowing the specific details, the technical details, the specific X's and O's of the game. Merab is the best on fight night. So.
Dude, I love that analogy about how you said Coach Wood is kind of like playing, almost like a puppet master almost. Yeah. But obviously it's Merab.
Yeah.
So you've gone to Canada with him. And you've spent a lot of time with him. Mm-hmm. Besides fighting, man, what have you learned from just hanging out with the guy? You know what I mean? It doesn't have to be within fighting.
Yeah.
It just...
Like I said, going to Canada was a cool time because that was really the first time that we spent a lot of time outside of the gym, just training together or getting ready for a fight. So we were just out in the city, and he just treats everybody the same. He doesn't act like he's better than anybody. He'll, if possible, Merab would shake every hand and take every picture that he could. When we were in Canada, it wasn't super crazy. A few people would recognize him here and there, and every time, even if we were on the run, which we were doing, he would stop, take a quick picture, we'd be back on the run. So that's one thing that I would always I want to remember when I get to the next level and when I become a champion is just because I've seen it, especially being here in Vegas. A lot of these champions, they don't even look anybody else's way. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
They don't give
that's interesting, man.
They don't give anybody the same respect, and I don't ever want to be that guy. When I am a champion, when I get to the next level, I want to still treat everybody the same. So that's probably a big thing with Merab. And then I mean, he's the man. Honestly, Merab is the man. He's so giving.
Yeah.
Like he houses a bunch of fighters from all over the world. Yep. Like he's the man. Like
That's
he doesn't
awesome, man.
he doesn't get enough credit. Of course, he's a great fighter, bantamweight GOAT, possibly, arguably bantamweight GOAT. But like he's a great man as well.
You know, that's why I like how you mentioned that. Like he houses fighters and stuff. And I saw him, you know, with the Korean guys at UFC, the Korean fighters from UFC. And man, what I was thinking about, interestingly enough, is like the language barrier, right? But then it's like fighting is like the same language. You know what I mean? You could just like, everyone's the same at that point. So I think that's really cool.
Like speaking of language, me and my boy Ali, who we went to Canada with, we were just talking about Merab and his the language barrier. And I've decided that I'm gonna try my best to keep Merab's English level exactly where it's at, because it makes everything he says so funny. And he doesn't even realize it. And I'm like, if your English gets better, yes, you'll get more sponsors and this and that. But with the broken English, he says some funny, wild stuff. It's hilarious.
I mean, that's why, you know, when you hear like Islam and Khabib talk, that's what makes it funny. Send to Dennis, can't forget 3 years. It's the part of the broken English.
I love it. Anything in broken, like even Canelo speaking English is the greatest thing I've ever heard in my life.
What's going on, guys? If you're enjoying this podcast, please don't forget to like the videos and subscribe to the channel. Only if you're getting value out of it on YouTube, and also on Spotify and Apple Podcasts. Don't forget to leave a rating and follow. And also, I also write a blog newsletter from what I learned from my incredible guests that I have on. So sign up for the email list and get updates on the podcast. Thank you for your love and support. Now back to the show. Yeah, and it's contagious. You hear DC talking like a dag. You, but it's like DC. Come on.
It's funny. I have noticed that as well, for sure.
That's funny, man. So, dude, you've been like I was saying, like a fucking creep, right? Most of these guests that I get on the podcast, just for, you know, a behind the scenes thing, a lot of them, this is our first conversation.
Yeah, it is.
And then the last time we had an interaction, it was me and you rolling, right? Rolling on the mats. But then I've been looking from afar, and man, you know, looking at your Instagram and just obviously being around people at the gym, right? You've been on what, a 3-fight winning streak?
It's 4-fight now.
4-fight now. Yeah.
4-0 as a pro now.
What sick shit in your head made you get into fighting? I ask every fighter that. What fucking trauma do you have in your head to be able to hit someone, get hit, possibly be in a car, you know, in a car crash, talking in the ring terms?
No, I get it. It is. Like, we're so engulfed in it, and like it's just what we do every day that it's hard to even see it from the outside perspective. But yeah, it is pretty crazy. I would say like so I grew up wrestling, and you know I'll always have that. Like I said, that's my blood. I could be like, you know, I could blast double anybody at any time. I feel like, because it's in my blood. You know what I mean? Like it's so natural to me. So growing up wrestling, that for sure helps and gives you an edge on it. And then I would say, so my dad passed away when I was 13. So that was like my freshman year of high school. And honestly, like that definitely had a part in it. And so I would say going through high school, wrestling and playing football, I was like, I was kind of a mess, you know, like man, anybody would be.
Dude, before that, and sorry to cut you off, man, because I want to hit on that. When you're 13, right? Because I've never had that experience, and I don't want to speak for you because I've never had that experience. It's not. But how do you even internalize that, man? How do you even process it when your parents die at a young age? You know what I mean? It's like, do you know what's going on, or are you like, fuck, I'm sad, and then you keep going about your day, and then everything's in hindsight, so you're like, damn, that fucking sucked.
Yeah, like speaking now I'm 26, you know, and it's actually crazy because my dad died when I was 13, and we just hit the 13-year reunion of his passing. So I heard it on a podcast, and it brought up my situation. And now officially, my dad passed away when I was 13. I'm 26. I'm officially on the part of my life where I've spent more time without my dad than with my dad. So like that definitely hits hard for sure. So saying that 13 years after, I would say like the first 4 years all of high school is just it's just like a blur. It's a mess. And like a perfect example of that is probably for like the first 4 or 5 years after my dad died, I would always tell people that he died when I was 12. He died when I was 12. That's what I thought. That's just
because you were so young.
well, that's just like that was like the number in my head. And then literally like maybe 4 or 5 years later, I did the math and I was like, I was 13 when my dad died. I wasn't 12. I was 12 when he was sick. But when he died, I was 13. So that goes to show you like how much of a blur my life was. That I was like, oh yeah, my dad died when I was 12. And then I looked back, I was like, I wasn't even 12 years old. I was 13.
You were 13.
That's just a good example to show how chaotic it was. I will say though, it made me like, I was angry, you know, I was like pissed off all the time. But that comes into play on the wrestling mat and on the football field. And I fucking used it. Am I allowed to cuss? Sorry.
Yeah, of course, man. So,
I used it, you know, I used it like a motherfucker. And like, that was my outlet, was mainly football at the time, honestly. I loved football. Like the camaraderie, I think, probably helped. I was really close with a lot of my coaches. They were probably taking on a fatherly role that I didn't even realize at the time. I love all my coaches. I look up to all my coaches. We could talk about that. But coaches they need more respect and more, we'll get into that. But But yeah, so like I really loved football and I was an angry football player. You watch film of me playing, I played angry. I put my head down. I put my body on the line every play, like every game. And it paid off on the field, you know.
Running back?
I was like a skill player, H-back mainly.
H-back,
yeah, H-back. I would some receiver and then like safety and DB sometimes, punt return, kick return, all that.
I played a little bit of running back in high school. So yeah.
Yeah, I used to.
I had to put the shoulder down. I used to, Top Warner.
Yeah, if I was on a sideline and there was an option to run out of bounds or put my head down, I was fucking diving straight down. And I always tell people like, I feel like I graduated in 2017. My generation, I feel like, was like the last generation of real Hard Knocks football.
Oh,
like
tell me about it.
Because
let's go.
Growing up when I was young, I grew like playing football from when I was 7 or 8, as well as wrestling. I had old school hard coaches, like real. They didn't
tough skin.
They didn't pity none of us. Like I could tell you story after story about my coaches. Coach Hurley, that's my main guy. He played football and wrestled at Boise State, and then when he was my coach, his son was my same age, and at the time I think he was like a SWAT sniper or something. But he's one of the hardest. He's one of the hardest dudes ever. Sidetrack. We'll get back to it. I was up in Reno, which is where I'm from, and I was just cruising, and I see a white truck pass me, and I see his license plate that says Hurley, and immediately right there, I felt my anxiety go through the roof because it just brought back all these memories of like, he's a hard dude, but it made us all champions. Like. And that's another one. He doesn't get enough respect. But my senior year, I think he had 6 or 7 state champions that scattered throughout. Once, like we had a great club school, and then once everyone hit high school, they kind of dispersed to where they were located, you know. But Coach Hurley was a great dude, and I don't even know where we went from there. But
not you played sports, wrestling. Your father.
Yeah. We just had real hard nosed coaches, you know. And I used that, you know, in high school. We played fast. That was our motto: fast and mean. And we lived by it and we died by it. Fast and mean.
Dude, I love the way you said that.
Yeah.
Man, that really sparked something in me as well. It kind of not trigger in a good way because, yeah, man. The society that we live in nowadays, I mean, you know about it.
Yeah.
I'm not, dude, and I never like to trash it. You know what I mean? It's not like, the kids nowadays and all that stuff. I don't want to be that guy. It's just, I was surrounded by, you know, the football players just like you. The way you talk too, your demeanor about like talking about the old school Hard Knocks football, fucking fuck you 2-a-days, remember the Titan shit. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like,
no, it's crucial. I'm forever thankful for that I was part of that generation. And yeah, like I wouldn't knock this generation too much because I imagine like the level of athleticism and the skill level is probably like still getting better when it comes to athletics.
And they're getting younger and they're doing it younger.
Yeah. So in a weird way, like they're getting just as good and just as skilled, just maybe in a softer way. But I wouldn't have wanted it any other way than the old school style that we grew up in, for sure.
Dude, hindsight's always 2020. It's so sticking to football, man, because I think that topic really, really interests me because, okay, so everything's in hindsight, right? So when you're doing MMA now, the crossover between sports. That's why when I see someone, because I used to play basketball, ironically enough, I'm 5'5", but that's a Filipino thing. But then, I used to play basketball, but what that taught me is a whole shitload of coordination. It's not like I was a superstar, but even with football, if you cross over from basketball to football, the hand-eye coordination is kind of the same, right? Because if you never played sports, try catching a fucking, like, say fastball, or try catching someone from a fucking elite quarterback. That shit's coming at you, and then you don't want to be going like you're getting hit in the face. You know what I mean? So I think that's very interesting,
especially as young kids, because that's when all the coordination really comes in. So I guess I started playing football and wrestling at like 6, 7, or 8, something like that. But even before that, my parents put me in gymnastics.
Okay, yeah.
And I feel like that was super beneficial for me to kind of just catapult or give me a good base for athleticism, and then the base of wrestling, like what it does to a young kid and how strong it makes their body. Like I imagine it goes so far, growing up wrestling, like it has to go so far.
Yeah, in some sort of way, when they say you can't teach a dog new tricks, I deem that to be false. But then when you're younger, it's almost like you're putting all these like neuroplasticity, all together, right?
Just like I was saying, me double legging somebody, like I could do that, like at any time. That's so ingrained in my DNA that I could just blast doubles,
like tying your shoes.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, riding a bike, all that. Yeah.
Hey man, let's stick to this because, dude, I'm very very fascinated by the story. And shout out Emily, because that's where we talked about that, because she played softball.
Oh yeah.
And when you roll with her, she just, dude, people that play sports are just different. You know what I mean?
You got to go for her knees.
You gotta go. Yeah. Hey, let him know. Yeah. She knows. It's not only, I guess this is part of coordination, but she knows how to distribute her weight.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? There's all these nuances that people that haven't played sports, and it's not on them. They just didn't play sports. It's just the things that they didn't come up knowing. I guess what I'm trying to say is that they're obviously not as athletic.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Growing up.
For sure.
And then, so with me playing basketball, right? And then translating it, I'm no competitor or anything. I just, do that. I just train just for a hobby. But I will say, looking at hindsight, and I didn't realize this, is that my lateral movement when it comes to basketball, my footwork and stuff like that, it all translates, man.
Simple, like as simple as passing a guard on your feet, being able to be mobile enough to shift back and forth, like
not flat-footed. You know what I mean? Yeah. So again, let's continue with that story. So and I'm very sorry about your father passing at a very early age. So you took that. Who decided to get you into sports?
I think my brother started playing football a year, like he's 2 years older than me. So he started, and then I think I went into it the next year. And then I think my mom's family friend, the Murphys, they started wrestling, and since we were like such close family friends with them, they kind of brought us along. And that's how I started wrestling.
Yeah.
And I hated it. It was miserable.
Really?
The first year, I was.
All right, let's go, man. What is it? I mean, this is probably an obvious thing. And I think, like Jojo told me, Jojo Calderwood, hey, come on the podcast, by the way.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah, I've been trying to get her on here forever, but
it's busy.
I know.
Running the gym.
I mean, this is prime time stuff, though.
Yeah.
But anyway.
I hear you.
So you went to wrestling. Oh, why? Is it because of the hard work and just the exhaustion that you get from wrestling? I know it makes you have tougher skin.
Yeah.
And wrestlers, I've talked about this in the podcast before, but they have like the fucking like resilience to be able to get through exhaustion. Because is it because of the warm-ups? Is it because of just the overall, like you're going?
It's all the above. Like I said, especially if you start from a young age, that gets ingrained in you, how to move your body and how to put stress on your body and still be able to operate from a young age. There's that too, but then also just the culture of wrestling is just hard, especially back in the day. Like when I grew up, back in the day, I'm not that old, but when I grew up, like
getting up there, buddy. Okay.
Yeah, I know. I better get some fights.
Take it easy.
I better get some fights going. But yeah, like just the culture of it. It's like there no pity, no sympathy. Do your work. You're gonna be sweating. You're gonna be hurting. It's gonna be miserable, and that's just the normal. So I guess that's probably, to answer your question in a nice, pretty sentence, is like being miserable is like kind of the normal. So when it comes to being miserable in the third and the fourth round, wrestlers are they're used to that. That's normal for them.
Being miserable. That's the first time I heard that, man. I heard discomfort,
Hey,
bro.
that's a
a bar, dude.
That's a bar.
And I love my quotes, man.
Yeah,
You
yeah.
know,
I'm a good
like-
quote guy too. I like quotes.
This guy, I didn't know this guy was a modern day Socrates.
That's what they say.
So you went to wrestling,
Yeah.
and then what other sports did you play?
Just football.
It's gymnastics.
Oh yeah,
football,
yeah. Gymnastics,
wrestling.
I guess. Then just football and wrestling. And
Yeah.
at first I loved wrestling, especially before I got to high school. It was freestyle and Greco.
Okay.
Which is I used to love tossing kids like
What
yeah,
suplex like Mr.
suplexes
Perfect? Yeah.
and then the Greco whatever Greco parterre clinch. Like I just loved all tossing kids.
Yeah, yeah,
And
yeah.
then when I got to high school, I really shifted and I fell in love with football. Like some with the program and the coaches and the camaraderie and the team that
Yeah.
we had. Like I just fell in love with football. And Friday Night Lights is I think super special
That's right.
time in like in anybody's like high school career, whether you're like a fan or a cheerleader. Like it's Friday Night Lights, you know. In the fall, it's, you know, what are you doing Friday? We're going to the game.
Yeah.
What you talking about? And luckily, we sucked my sophomore and junior year, but then my senior year, we had a really good squad. And,
Yeah.
So I loved football, and then like I said, throughout all this, me loving wrestling, me loving football, I was like a mess because my dad had just passed away. So I was
Right.
like on the field, I was the man on the mat, I was the man, but outside of that, I was chaos.
right,
It was
fuck
chaos,
yeah.
absolute chaos.
Were you an angry kid, man?
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Dude. Yeah,
Were
definitely.
you sensitive? Would you say?
He's probably for sure. Like just emotional, you know, like especially back then, the emotions like were so high. Like I just wanted to, you know. So like,
Bro, don't beat me up, right?
Yeah, no,
You know, all right, let's not get red over here.
no, I've gotten better, and we'll get into that. So actually,
Yeah.
we'll go into that right now. It's So yeah, I was a mess in high school, so I was good at sports, and I was stud at sports, but my grades were terrible. So I had a couple offers, and some things fell through to go play football and
In college.
wrestle in college.
Ah,
But like I said, I was a mess, and I didn't know what was smart for my future at the time. So I thought I would just figure it out. So I didn't go to college, and I was just kind of hanging around for a little bit, and then after high school, like I said, like I was just kind of hanging around, fucking around, drinking, smoking, and then I'm part of like the Conor McGregor era. Like when Conor McGregor was doing his thing was when I was like 18, 19. And I was like,
he was at his peak, right?
well, he was probably like coming up, beating,
Like coming up talking shit.
beating Jose Aldo and
Yeah.
Eddie Alvarez.
Oh,
like
yeah.
it was
Oh,
probably
yeah.
through all of that. So I was like, and like even after high school, I was still training. I was in the weight room like an obnoxious amount of time because that's just my happy place and where I get all
Yeah.
my therapy. So I was still in the gym training hard, like super, super hard. I would do obnoxious workouts, like pick a workout and do it 1,000 times. I was doing like those types of workouts, you know? And then I kind of started watching Conor McGregor. The girl I was dating at the time, like Conor McGregor. And then I was like, I've always been an athlete. I got wrestling in my back pocket. So like, let's plan on, becoming an MMA fighter. And then I had a bag at this, I would go to this 24-hour gym. It was like a private gym, and they had a heavy bag, and I would go there at like midnight or 1 in the morning when no one's there.
It was like a weightlifting gym.
Yeah, but they had a bag you could pull out of the closet.
I see what
and
you're
I would
saying.
put it up on the pull-up bar and
Yeah.
half-ass
Strap it up,
wrap my hands.
Yeah.
Just
Just duct tape it.
just punch it. So I did that for a little bit, and then I was like 2018, July of 2018 or 2019, whatever it is. I was like, I'm gonna start on this day, and then that day I started. I went to I looked up Muay Thai gyms in my area, and luckily there was a Muay Thai gym like right where I hang out with all my boys, like right around the corner.
Why Muay Thai, bro? Why not like any other like
Because I don't even know, honestly.
just kind of like
I think what really happened was like I was probably telling people that I'm looking into getting into fighting, and they probably told me, you got wrestling. If you want good striking, go see this guy. We have a really good Muay Thai coach, Zach Manel, so I went to that gym, and then he's a really man, he's a lot, but I just bought into everything he said, and I bought in all the way. Like when I started on that day, I started and I hit the ground running. I changed my whole work schedule. I became part-time in work so I could go to work early in the morning, do Muay Thai right after work because it was like in my area, and then I would do grappling at night.
Yeah.
And I did that I did that hard for probably a year and a half to 2 years. Like that, I was grinding. Like that was a very grinding time.
Were you addicted to it right away? What was it about it that you were like, all right, I'm just gonna run with it?
I don't know.
You know what I mean?
I don't know. It's probably one of those things where I was like, I don't know what else I'm gonna do. So I probably kept doing it. And then also part of it, my posture. Also part of it too was like I was getting whooped and I just couldn't have that. It was like an ego thing. You know?
Yeah.
That guy Zach Bonnell, I would go to his class at the noon class, and there would be like him, a girl, and me. And it's like, okay, I guess I'm sparring this Zach Bonnell, Muay Thai champion. And I just got my ass whooped. And yeah, and I was like, I can't let that happen.
I gotta figure.
I gotta figure something out. Yeah, I gotta get better. And like I said, at that time in my life, even then, kind of tying it all together, I still had a chip on my shoulder. Even more so now because I was a football star and I was supposed to go play college, and now everyone's looking at me like, oh, you're not going to college, you're partying, you're drinking, like you're gonna be like, high school superstar, and that's it. That was your peak,
Right.
So I had that chip on my shoulder.
Like the has-been.
Yeah, exactly. I had that chip. I did not want to let that happen. Like that was like, I did not want to let that happen.
That seems like a driving force, man.
Especially in Reno. Reno's known. Reno is what's the word? Notorious. Speaking of Conor McGregor, Reno's notorious for having great athletes.
Yep.
They'd end up at the bar every weekend with our whole 20s. Like it's so notorious for that.
Why do you think that is, man?
The culture,
you know what I mean? Like
the drinking culture in Reno's pretty big.
Interesting. My sister went there.
Yeah, it's like it's a 24-hour city, kind of like Vegas.
Sure.
But it's like more. It's like I don't have to drive 20 minutes to go to the strip. It's like let's go down to the bar. It's 5 minutes to start drinking. And like that's the culture. So that was a big driving force. I didn't want to be a has-been, like you said. I was still recovering from my dad and that trauma. And then, but that was like one nice lesson that I got from Zach Bonnell was like he really did help me cope with losing my dad, because his mom also passed away from cancer, and he has a very hard-nosed but still compassionate mentality, and like he really did help me cope mentally because I was angry all the time. I was pissed off, and even like my first few fights, my first fight, you can see it. Like you just see as an amateur, you just see an angry kid just throwing bombs. Like you can see it. And then that was like a big, that helped me a lot. So honestly, that's probably one of the reasons that hooked me on it, was like I could feel myself getting better. Like I could feel myself coping and getting over all the trauma and becoming better mentally,
Yeah.
And then, yeah, I guess, and then, I was hooked. Like I said, for the first year and a half, 2 years, I was hooked.
Right.
Running at the goal.
At the start, yeah. Like, I think everyone that trains gets hooked to it, right? Because of how it makes you feel, you get better. There's something, it's almost like you're building yourself. You know what I mean? Yeah, so, dude, yeah, thanks for sharing that, man. Because that's rambling.
I was rambling.
No, that's what's up, man.
That was like 5 minutes right there.
Yeah, I was like, hey, man.
Hey, chill.
we rolled. We just rolled.
This is my podcast. Relax.
No. I was like, man, this guy's gonna jump over the table and drop kick me or something, or suplex me over. But anyway, yeah, man. So let's talk about a little bit about your trip to Thailand, man. Yeah. So now it all makes sense, right? We were talking about before this podcast, and yeah, I mean, you got really into Muay Thai. Is that why you went to Thailand, to get more training, to advance your training, or did you just want to go?
So like I said, I started training in Reno, and I got really hooked to Muay Thai, and then like during COVID, like everything fell apart, obviously. Everything fell apart. So my MMA gym fell apart, coaches got into drama, everybody split up, and then eventually my head coach for the MMA gym, not the Muay Thai coach, my head coach that I had at the time, he moved to North Carolina. So then I was in a weird spot where I wasn't really training with any coaches in Reno. I was just me. It was me, Pablo, my boy Alex in the garage, just ripping pads. And then I was like, I got to do something, still chasing the goal. So I moved to North Carolina. I drove across the country in 2021 or something like that. And I lived in North Carolina for 2 years.
To follow your coach?
To follow my coach, yeah. He had a gym established out there. So
man, that was a big move.
Yeah, it was a big move at the time. Yeah, it was my first time leaving the city.
Especially that young.
Yeah,
pretty young.
Yeah. No, it was good though. It taught me a lot. And so I went out to North Carolina. I met great people out there, and we built the gym up Coach built the gym up real well, and I was part of that like building process. But then I kind of had ran out of amateur fights in the area, because I kind of won a couple of the belts and stuff like that for the immediate area. And I had been at this point, I was like, 4 or 5 years into my career, I was like, it's time to go pro. So like, let's start leaning for that. At the time in North Carolina, I was like more of a coach. I didn't really have any training partners. Like we were really building up a younger group of kids at the time.
Okay, yep.
So it was kind of our plan for my pro camp would be me going to Thailand. So that's kind of why, that was really what the decision was, to go to Thailand. Was like, this will be your pro camp to get ready for your pro debut.
Did your coach recommend that, or did
Yeah,
you?
he did.
Okay,
Yeah, he did. Coach Kelly Anderson out at Battleborn BJJ and MMA in High Point, North Carolina. He's a great coach, and he told me, like he knew just as well as I did that I wasn't getting the right work if I wanted to take to the next level and be a pro.
That's gnarly.
Yeah, and he helped out a lot. He got me sponsors. We did like a fundraising seminar for me so I could get some money and everything.
That's
dope. It was awesome. It was
Yeah.
awesome, and it changed my whole entire
He
life.
really cares, man.
Yeah.
Now that you bring up the fundraising thing,
Yeah.
that's very far and few. Like there's a lot of good coaches that don't do that, but that's taking it to another level to where it's like, man, that's carrying through action right there.
Yeah, for
Yeah.
sure. No, he's done, I think literally, I don't know when this will come out, but he just had another fundraiser for an old teammate of ours that is going through cancer. Like he's more than willing to do that. And he always said, as I was an amateur, he always said like, eventually, you're going to be going to a bigger gym. You're going to be traveling a lot. So it was kind of part of the plan, for me to go to Thailand and then later on go to Syndicate.
Yeah.
But so Thailand was basically my pro camp. And then
Right. And how long were you in Thailand for?
3 months.
3 months.
Yeah, 3
Yeah.
months.
Which gym in Thailand?
I started at Tiger Muay Thai.
Yep.
I was there for like a month and a half, and then I spent like kind of 2 or 3 weeks exploring smaller gyms, and then I spent the last month at Phuket Fight Club.
At Phuket Fight Club.
Yeah.
What was it about? Okay. Well, number one, let's bring it back real quick.
Yeah.
How did you even feel? It was your first time in Thailand. I guess.
Yeah.
How did you even feel, man? You're like what do they call that? A gringo.
No, I was Farang in Thailand.
Is it for wrong? Okay.
Farang is foreigner. Gringo is what my girl calls me. She's Brazilian. I'm the gringo.
Oh, really?
That's
Okay.
like a Latino.
Are you straight Caucasian?
Yeah, I think
Okay,
I got a little Hispanic in me somewhere. Last name.
That's what every white person says. I
Check
got
the
a little
last
bit
name,
of
bro. Check the last name.
I like it.
Yeah, so I was Farang in Thailand, and I was really nervous. It was my first time ever leaving the
man.
country.
Culture shock, right?
We'll get into not really, honestly, not really, because I recommend everybody look into it. But where Tiger Muay Thai is, it's on this it's on the street to the Westerners. It's known as Fitness Street, and it's Tiger Muay Thai's at the top, and then it's probably a half-mile long street.
Yep.
It is full of MMA gyms, CrossFit gyms, bodybuilding gyms. All the restaurants accommodate athletes. You could put protein.
Interesting.
Put protein in all your shakes.
Yeah.
There's bungalows and hotels all on this one street. Like literally everybody walking down the road is just like a freak jack athlete.
They have their own fucking city there.
Yeah, it's
with
literally,
athletes.
it's probably a half-mile long road, and it's called Fitness Street to Westerners, Soy Thaiad. But
Wow.
so Tiger Muay Thai is like, that's the big one, it's at the head of the street.
Yes.
It's the biggest gym, most well-known gym. I
Yes.
think Tiger Muay Thai started it, and the street kind of built over time to what it is now. But I started at Tiger Muay Thai, and that was, like I said, when it comes to culture shock, I was in a super unique part of Thailand. Like it wasn't, you won't find that Fitness Street anywhere else. So I was mainly with a lot of Australians, Russians, Europeans,
Right.
mainly more than anything. Like I got real close to an Australian, my boy Trent Girdham. I was kicking it with him a lot. A bunch of Japanese guys, less Thai culture than like I imagined.
Yeah, it's like a melting pot.
Yeah,
Diversity.
for sure.
Yeah,
for
yeah.
sure. But I recommend it too to everybody because it was so simple. Like when I got to the airport and I went to go get a taxi, they could tell I was a fighter, and they're like, "Oh, you're going to Tiger Street."
Yeah.
And then I was like, "Yeah." And then I got to my hotel, and I literally didn't need a moped, didn't need anything if I really wanted to. Eventually, I did, and I started exploring more. But it's such a unique part of the world.
Interesting.
That Fitness Street. You should look it up. It's crazy. Yeah.
Would you? So I'm trying to visualize it in my head,
Mhm.
and I did, believe it or not, I did hear, a little bit about it.
Yeah, I'm sure.
Not as specific as you were telling me.
Yeah.
But then, so they built around that, and it was meant for that. So I'm guessing that's the destination for like athletes, right?
Yeah, for sure.
Would you call it kind of like almost a tourism spot? Because you got on the outside, it's all Thailand,
Yeah.
right?
No, 100%, especially Phuket as well, because Phuket's like an island in the southern part. So you're also gonna get the nice beaches there. That's where you're gonna get on like the boats and go see all the what's it called? I saw James Bond Island, all the limestone rocks poking out of you. That's where you'll go in Phuket. So it's touristy for that, but that one street is like a straight up hub for some of the best fighters and athletes on the planet, without a doubt. I trained, Fazib. Well, Fazib's a kickboxing coach at Tiger Muay Thai, so he's coaching me.
Love that guy.
I saw the Pirate at the time. I share a bullet. I was seeing him. I would just be drinking coffee, eating whatever, and then the Pirate walks in, and I'm like, oh shit,
dude. Okay, so I need to know this for obviously for anyone that doesn't know Tiger Muay Thai. Like Cam was saying, Premier. Premier. They had to build up to it, and I've seen some of their training footage, like their initiation of what they have to do. That's like,
well, you're probably talking about the tryouts.
There you go.
So when I went to Tiger Muay Thai, I was trying to sneak my way into the tryouts because you get a year scholarship out there.
Interesting.
But
we'll talk more about that.
I signed up for it, and like I sent it at the time. Like I did, my record wasn't very I was just an amateur. So at the time I didn't have much, so they didn't accept me. But we still planned the trip around that time, and I was like trying to, work my way into the Tiger Muay Thai tryouts. Honestly, I didn't really vibe with Tiger Muay Thai at all.
Okay.
Like,
what do you think that is, man?
It's just
is it people? Is it like
culture? Like there was a lot of Russians, and the Russians are not friendly until you get in their bubble.
I see what you're saying. Yeah.
So like it was just, I was literally just fighting every day. I was scrapping every day, and then it's just like there's kind of politics, like there is in anything, there's politics, but it was just so big and so commercial that it just wasn't really what I was looking for.
It wasn't as like intimate, meaning it wasn't like okay, close knit.
Exactly.
Yeah. Interesting, man. So after Tiger Muay Thai, first of all, what did you gain from Tiger Muay Thai?
Just intensity. Intensity.
Right.
I saw the level of intensity that they train at, that they operate at. Like that's all. That's what
I've seen the videos, but I can only imagine
intensity for sure. 100%. It's business. It's all business.
Oof, man.
Yeah.
Is it? So, would you say Tiger Muay Thai? This is probably an obvious question, but then that's where you think. I know that there's Bangtown now. AKA is out there. Would you say Tiger Muay Thai is still the premier?
I would say it's probably leaning towards Bangtown now.
Really?
I think Tiger Muay Thai has gotten so commercial and so tourist that it kind of went over the edge a little bit, because when it comes to Tiger Muay Thai, probably 20% of the people there are professional fighters, and the rest is all tourism.
It's like classes.
There's classes. They have so many people. They have like a beginner's Muay Thai, intermediate Muay Thai, advanced Muay Thai, and then pro Muay Thai. So they have 4 different groups for just Muay Thai. And then they have BJJ, and then they have MMA and amateur MMA, pro MMA, you know what I mean? So, and in all those classes, 60, 50 people in every class. Like,
which you don't get the attention.
You know, So like I think Tiger Muay, I don't know. I was only there for a couple months, but I would imagine it's starting to lean more towards Bangtao, but then I imagine Bangtao is probably gonna go through the same thing, where they just get too big for their own good, and they might go over the cliff a little bit. Which is like, I wish I would have gone to Bangtao, but they got really good coaches, and that seems like the spot right now.
Frank Hickman and the Hickman brothers were at Syndicate, before Bangtao.
Yeah, and Tiger. And Tiger, now they're at Bangtao.
And that Bangtao, are they the owners?
I don't know.
Okay, because I just saw them promoting it.
Yeah, I don't know.
But anyway, man, that's so fascinating how that gem part of the politics works, because when you get too big, all of a sudden everything comes down to the dollar, it seems right, like it's not about
it's a fine line, and I don't own a gym, so I can't tell you the answer, but it is, I imagine it's probably a super fine line that they gotta struggle with. You know what I mean?
Right. Exactly.
That's, one day I'll own a gym and I'll deal with that. But
Yeah. And they almost, I guess, like they have their premier fighters, right? So it's almost like, and again, I could only assume and imagine, but you have an established fighter going over there since it's so well known. It's kind of like push everyone out of the way. All right, let's fucking cater to this.
Yeah, I did not even get a look barely at Tiger Muay Thai.
Man,
yeah, and like that could be on me to just get better. You know,
I get it.
Whatever, you know. But yeah, nah. That's why eventually I landed in Phuket Fight Club because it was a little smaller. It's off Fitness Street. It's probably like 2 miles down the road.
Okay.
Fitness Street. So that's why I ended up at Phuket Fight Club, just a lot smaller. Like the MMA classes had maybe 6 or 7 people, and I got really good coaching over there, and Coach Bruno, and like a lot of good coaching over there.
Did they get so Phuket Fight Club? I don't know too much about them. Like I said, these gyms now, like Banks Out, you see John Jones doing seminars over there, and even you see Tiger Muay Thai everywhere. That gym that you're talking about, Phuket Fight Club, are they leaning towards that, or they're trying to keep it small? How's the culture down there?
I think honestly,
because it's hard for me to imagine. The reason why I asked, you know,
everybody's trying to make more money.
Yeah, exactly.
Honestly, I think that like Phuket Fight Club, they're expanding as well, their gym. So you know, but still, even though they're expanding, there's their level way behind, like in a good way, they're behind the bigger
for the fighters.
Yeah. Like if I went back, I would go back to Phuket Fight Club. That's like that's where I met my girl, and I still talk to the people there. Like I really love Phuket Fight Club.
Awesome, man. I mean, yeah, and not to get personal. Was your girl living in Thailand?
Yeah. So my girl was living in Thailand for like a year and a half. She's Brazilian, but was living in Thailand.
How come? Why is it?
She's a gangster. She made it out of the favelas, and she started fighting in Brazil and made it to the promised land of Thailand, and was coaching and fighting out there in Thailand. And then when I met her, she was the social media manager as well.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah. So that's how like that's
in Phuket Fight Club.
At Phuket Fight Club.
Phuket
working for Phuket Fight Club. Yeah. She was coaching and doing social media there, fighting there. And that's how we met. She pulled up on me after a practice.
Man, she rolled up.
She pulled up on me. She was like,
look at this guy with 6% body fat.
Yeah, she was. Yeah, she pulled up on me.
6%.
That's funny you say that. She actually asked me. She was like, she asked me what my weight was.
Yeah.
I was like, that's not really a male to female question. Yeah. And I was like, I think she was trying to break the ice.
I think so.
So that's kind of how it got going.
Yeah. An awkward way to break the ice. But I get it. Yeah.
No,
it's like, are you a 2% body?
Yeah.
No, I was just curious.
It was great. Yeah. Now we're going strong. We're trying to get her visa to come to the US. It's a whole hassle.
So is she in Brazil now? Or
now she's
still in Thailand?
Now she's in Abu Dhabi. She coaches out in Abu Dhabi. Yeah.
Really? Damn.
Yeah, she's gangster.
Wow.
Yeah.
Thailand, fucking okay.
Yeah. Actually, I guess she went Brazil to Qatar, or Brazil to Doha, and then Thailand, and now Abu Dhabi.
Damn.
Yeah.
Is that why on your Instagram you be traveling? You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's
one of the reasons.
Yeah, those were big reasons why. I went to Brazil last November, which was a great trip to meet her family, and that was amazing. But yeah, and then she came to the US, and then just recently just Merab sending me up to Canada. But I tried to. That was one of the main reasons I started fighting, was the travel, and then it's worked out well. Yeah,
man, I love it, man. That's one of the things too. When I was looking at your Instagram, I was like, oh, this guy goes places, because sometimes you're not at syndicate. Yeah. Like most people would be. You know what I mean? As far as like the regulars, they live in Vegas.
Yeah.
But then obviously now that I know that you met your girl over Thailand, and like you said, she's a gangster. She's Qatar. What the fuck? Yeah. Abu Dhabi now.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And that's very, very cool, man.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like from what you were telling me, from what I'm getting out of it, it's like, dude, your whole life has flipped around, man. It seems like, from you being with your father, and I'm sure there's still, some sentiment there, but yeah, man, I mean, you're fighting now, and we're going to get into that now. Mm-hmm. So you are in a 4-fight win streak, man.
Yep.
So being an angry kid, and you know what? I'm gonna say this, man. I can almost feel it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I can almost feel it. I'm like, man, I see the veins on the neck. I'm like, that's why I keep joking around. Like, don't drop kick me.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Good, I'm good now.
Said, yeah. But anyway, yeah. Got the venom coming out, like But anyway, yeah, man. Are you still that angry kid when you go to when you're walking out the gym, man? Are you like a killer mentality? Or are you let me get zen with my shit.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
how do you approach it, man?
That's actually that's actually something that like is an important lesson for me. Was like I said, my first few years was also like therapy and me getting over all the shit. And then I did really reach a spot where I was like way better mentally. But I went too far and I became too nice, and then I realized, I like kind of looked back on everything and I was like, yes, I'm not as angry as I used to be, but now like I'm missing that chip, I'm missing that edge. Like my whole athletic career was built on having that chip, or the main years of my athletic career were built on having that chip.
The competitiveness, baby, that grind.
Exactly. So a few years into my career, I realized, I was like, oh wow, I'm in a better space mentally, but I lost that one thing that that made me what I like was the best competitor and athlete, So I've had to like now it's all about honing it in to fight night, like and of course practice, you want to be intense and focused and all that, but there's still not that angry mal intent,
Yeah.
But
not like you want to like chop someone up with a knife.
But now it comes down to honing all that energy, that chip on your shoulder energy, and just being able to pull it out for the 15 minutes or 25 minutes that you're in the cage. Just like I said with Merab, what makes him so special, many things, but one of them that I love about Merab is he shows up on fight night, So like it's kind of the same idea. Like I can't walk around angry like I used to every day. I can't go to sleep angry like I used to all the time, But I still need to be able to pull out not necessarily the anger, but the chip and that fire. You know what I mean? On fight night, you know what I mean?
Yeah, absolutely, man. I think it's such an interesting paradox between fighters because, listen, as you know, everyone's very, very nice at the gym, right? You know what I mean? And I know that's from training, and that's a lot of like, okay, we leave it out at the gym, the humbleness and stuff like that. But that is one of those things where it's like, okay, you're human, right? You know what I mean? That's why I like to ask these questions about like, people's traumas, and I've heard some shit, you know what I mean? And yeah, man. And again, thanks for sharing that. But so when you go in there, man, you feel like you're putting on not a mask, not that you're faking it because it's in you, but then you got kind of like a fucking alter ego almost.
I wouldn't,
or is it just kind of like, all right, I'm gonna turn into fucking, you know what I mean?
I wouldn't call it like an alter ego. It's just like honestly, like I'm proud of when I was an amateur, like I would get so anxious and my adrenaline dumps would be crazy as an amateur. So over time I've kind of honed in this mentality and this zone that I could break into on fight night. And I would say my last 3-4 fights, I've been able to tap into that mentality really well, which is less about being angry, yes, having that fire and that chip. But like the way I think about it more is like do your job, like do what we train to do, follow the game plan, like get it done, like less emotional and more
technical.
Get the job done.
Yeah.
If you get to this position, we've trained this position. Do what you're supposed to do here. Don't make stupid mistakes. Stay calm and composed. So like and with that kind of comes like a fire of like, let's cause damage to this person.
Right. How do you balance that, man? And
I don't know. It's tough. It's tough. I don't have an answer, but like I said, I'm happy that I can tap into that now.
Yeah. That's a great way to put it.
And honestly, how you said, how could you build that up? I had to go through the shit of getting my adrenaline dump. I had to go through all those emotions, and then also fighting in Thailand, leveled up my experience a whole lot as well too. So I think that helped as well.
Yeah, man.
That was the first time fighting elbows. I got into some wars in Thailand, so that also like I leveled up with those fights as well. So so my last 4 fights, like I said, I've honed it in real well, and I wish I had a better answer, but it's personal to me, and I think it's a sweet spot.
I think I understand, man. I mean, so from your first fight that you had that win streak, right? Can you tell me what the difference is on every fight that you've learned? Like say from your just from those 4 or 5 win streaks. Usually we take, and obviously it's a fight, you're gonna learn a lot from it. Yeah. But then usually we learn from like failures, meaning losses. You know what I mean? The emotional roller coaster. I talked to Vince about it, you know, and all that. From winning, this is I guess a brighter side. what did you learn from each one, man? Just starting from your first one.
It's kind of tough with the first two because I took my debut and then I fought 3 weeks later. So I had 2 fights. The first 2 fights were like almost back to back.
This is pro debut.
My pro debut, and then I had one lined up right after that. So like it's I kind of pair those two together. But with that one, like not to sound like too cocky, but like,
that's all right, man.
I think with those ones, I was like, oh, I'm better than a lot of these guys.
Oh yeah,
like, I'm way better than these.
What makes you say that, man?
I just
like the specifics.
I just as soon as I got my hands on them, like
the grip, strength, like what? Yeah,
I was always a step ahead. I think I was more like I was just better. I'm just
more athletic. Yeah, right.
And at this time, my first 2 fights, I was on in North Carolina, so that scene is way different than the scene out here. I will say that. But I was like, I'm better than all these dorks out here.
Yeah,
like, I swear to God,
I love it, man. I love it.
That's just what it was.
Talk that talk, man.
So then after my 2 fights, me partially being like, I'm better than a lot of these people out here and some other, personal stuff. That's why I made the transition over to Las Vegas.
Yeah.
Because, so I guess what I learned was I'm better than this and I need to put myself in a better environment.
Yeah.
That I'm no longer the big fish in the small pond, So that's why I made the decision to leave North Carolina and I went back to Reno. So I would say for the first 2, I learned that I got to get myself in a better environment. So like, yes, I won, but I was like, I need to get better work. Like,
yeah.
I got to get better work.
Man, you know what they say, man. If you're the smartest person in the room, you're in the wrong room.
That's a problem. Yeah.
It's a problem,
same
right?
Same thing in martial arts. If I'm never getting tapped, if I'm never losing rounds, that is a problem, So that is the catalyst for me getting out of North Carolina. Went to Reno for a couple months and then came down to Syndicate.
Yeah.
So that kind of ties in everything too.
I know you're going to be honest about this, man, but even though, everyone says like put your ego out the door and you're getting tapped, you get pissed when you get tapped, man? Since how, because I asked that because of how competitive you are.
Yeah. I mean, I would get more pissed if I made a silly mistake and I put myself in a bad spot.
Yeah.
Then I would be more pissed at myself if someone just pulls off a slick transition and gets something.
And then they're like, gotcha, bitch.
Especially in the room, I'm like, all right. And yeah, it's respect, I'm like, all right, you got me.
Yeah, right.
So I would get more mad if I made a mistake to get there, honestly.
Yeah. You got a little sloppy.
Yeah.
A little bit.
For sure.
Is that how you approach training? Are you always almost on? Because you seem like, look, because... I've talked to a lot of people, and a lot of people will be like, well, I know how to turn it on. Are you always on? Because you see, talking to you, man, your demeanor, you're probably, honestly, most likely one of the most competitive. I could just fucking feel the aura here. You know what I mean? I'm like, this guy's intense.
No, I'm a dork, bro. I'm not like that. Nah, I don't think so. I think
I'm smoking the bear over here.
Yeah, I think I can turn it on. Like I said, especially on fight night, like that is a different mentality. That is a very professional mentality. When I go into the room, it's like that's a whole different conversation. But like I said, I can't wake up every day pissed off, wanting to fucking rip everybody's head off. That's not sustainable. I can't do that forever. Like
I love that word.
So
sustainable. Yep.
So like I think a big part of training is also having like going into it excited and being enthusiastic, because I think that's when I perform my best, but also when I learn the most. So I don't think training is the time to be turned on and super competitive, because this is another talking about Merab, but this is another, like, you gotta be, if you're never ending up in bad positions, if you're not really willing to risk getting in a bad position to try a new technique or to try something. Jerry talks about this all the time.
Yes.
Like, you gotta be willing to risk something to try to chip away at that new technique and try again and fail again to get that new technique, you know? So like, if you're ultra competitive, you're never gonna be willing to make those risks. And like, that's another thing people talk about me in the room, that I'm a spaz. I still get some of the spaz.
Is that what it is?
A little bit. I still get the spaz comment, but I'm like, in the fight, I'm not like that, because I'm not taking those types of risks. In a real fight, I'm more patient. I'm more professional. I'm doing everything. I'm trying to do the right thing.
The game plan.
Yeah. In the fight, in the sparring room, like, sometimes it's like, let's just walk forward and try and figure something out. You know what I mean? So like, so I don't. To answer your question, I'm not turned on every day when I go in to train. Pause.
When you talk about the spazzy thing, it kind of shows a little bit though of like still that because okay, spazzy almost means not that exactly like you're some sort of beginner. Obviously, you're not.
Yeah.
But then it also shows intensity. Like you grab more, you're like moving more. You know what I mean?
That's what I'm saying too. Also, because it's a fine line. Everything is, it's all about balance. Everything's about balance. But like, yeah, you have to have a certain level of intensity, especially like the best tech. Like if we're talking technical, some wrestling throws. Like imagine a lateral drop.
Yep.
You can't do a lateral drop without intensity. It's just not gonna work. So like a lot of
the
this
explosiveness.
exactly. You gotta for a lot of the techniques that we do in a combat sport, you gotta get that oomph. You know? And also one thing, this is a personal thing, is I never want to be the guy that is too cool and
just cruising. Just cruising.
And dances around. Like I'd rather be called a spaz because I'm working in practice where we're supposed to work than a prima donna that's just
fuck. That's a great point.
You know what I mean? Like so, call me a spaz. I'm getting good work.
Yeah,
let me live.
How do you, let him live, dude. Yeah. How can you? I mean, this is kind of a obvious question. How can you tell when someone's just like a prima donna? So you got the spaz, you got the prima donna, like you said. Can you get more in detail like that? Like they're just cruising, their shoulders are down, or are they just too relaxed? Is that what you're talking about?
Just if we're shadow boxing to prepare for like a fight, you know? So you got to imagine
like really
that intensity. Yeah. You're never going to be in a fight looking over here.
Sure.
You know, it's never going to be like that. So like, and like, especially now as I'm getting older, like, you know, I said shadow boxing, so I'm thinking like beginning of class. Like we gotta get warmed up. You know, that's part of the warm up. So that's also part of the reason why I spaz out is I'm trying to get fired up, ready to go.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying,
dude. To sum it up, man. You know, with your four fight winning streak that you have, and that's quite a streak, man. Where do you go from here, bro? What are your hopes and what obviously everyone's trying to get to the big dance, but take me through like the micro steps of where you're at in your this very moment in your career. What are your goals?
Yeah.
And not like, you know, the bigger picture where we get too ahead.
Yeah.
But what's the next step, bro? On a day to day.
Honestly, it's been frustrating. I think this was before the podcast.
Yeah, but we talked about it.
I was hoping to fight around the same time that Merab fought Sugar Sean the second time because just how my schedule lined up and how his schedule lined up. I was like, if I get thrown in the cage with Merab for a couple weeks, I'll be ready to fight around that time, you know? But then I said yes to so many fights, 7, 8, 9 fights.
No way. You didn't tell me that before the podcast.
Yeah,
8, 7.
I swear to God, I got the receipts. Like I said yes to so many fights. There was one fight that I even signed a contract for, and we were working on flight details, and that got pulled out. So like right now, I'm in a very frustrating and like like I gotta stay faithful in this part and stay motivated,
patient,
and stay inspired and patient, all of that. So right now it's just about staying happy, healthy, and just being ready for the call because it's gonna be. I'm probably gonna get a short notice call next.
It's gonna happen.
Most likely, I'm gonna get a short notice call, and then if I get one lined up, just honestly, just the next fight. I guess I could say right now I need to work on my branding a little bit and my social media and stuff like that. That's something I really need to work on.
What can I ask you? Why do you say that? Because I'm the reason I ask because you know, we're in the space, right? We're in the creative space. That's very, very important.
Yeah.
Why do you say that as a fighter, since you're not like a quote unquote influencer? I guess you kind of are because you are a fighter, right? You're in the mainstream.
Yeah.
But why do you say that you need to do that?
Well, I need to do it because I have none. I could care less about social media. For me, all I care about is winning fights. If I'm not winning fights, I have nothing to post. I have nothing to post about. Yeah, so that's just my mentality, but that's not the reality of the business of the game. It's really not like like I said, my girl is a social media manager at Fight Club, so she's all about it. So really, I need to start posting more so she gets off my tail. But also,
but you're gonna have a lot with this one, man.
Yeah. So, but yeah, just to build my brand more because like she always says, my girl always says, like, you know, how are people gonna support you if they don't even see you?
It's very true.
Yeah, like if they don't even see you, and I'll go like, but like I said, I'm working on it. That's so building my brand is something that I could do in this moment right now. I'm gonna post an Instagram post tonight. So like,
Brother.
like it.
You're on a 4-fight win streak as a pro.
Yeah.
I mean, there's a lot there. There's a lot of content out there to be pushed out to where people are like, oh, this motherfucker. Why do you think we're here? You see what I'm saying? I'm like, oh, this guy.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
It's just like, it's just what that, like I said,
that old school showy thing, you think?
Yeah.
It's like, showing off.
Doesn't matter. Not necessarily the old school thing. It's just all that matters is winning fights. That's all that matters. Like, if I want to get a lot of followers, win fights.
Right.
Eventually, I'm gonna get a lot of followers, but I can kind of be proactive with it. I'm not getting fights right now, so I could be proactive in this time,
Yeah.
But that's something I could work on in this moment. And then other than that, just stay ready for an opportunity.
Fuck, dude. That was like deja vu because that's exactly what John Wood said. I clipped that out, right? And he was like, dude, be honest with yourself. If you want to get chicks, win fights.
Oh, yeah.
If you want to get money, win fights. It's like, that's fucking bottom line, bro. You want to get followers, win fights.
Straight up,
Yeah.
Yeah, no, maybe I'm repeating that clip.
No, I mean, it's true.
It's as real as it gets.
It's true, yeah.
It's as real as it gets.
Don't dance around like, don't act virtuous than what you think you are.
Exactly.
Tell the truth. It's okay. You're fucking human.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know what I mean?
So that's my mentality. But other than that, just stay ready. Rob's got Sandhagen coming up, so I'm back in the cage with him. I'm sure.
Man, that's a lot of reps, bro. I mean,
yeah,
I'd be scared. I'd be probably pulling out too if I saw your fucking name on the list. So let me get into that a little bit, man. Do you think most of that? Just I know you don't know for sure, probably. But your assumption, do you think a lot of that is because it was like, oh, this guy's dangerous, or is it mostly due to injury? Do you think they're like trying to time their wins and losses? You know what I mean? Had the records.
I think it's kind of where I'm at right now too, and also I think my manager Lance, I think he's also not getting me world beaters that are 15 and 2.
I hear you.
I
hear you.
I think he's getting me a certain level of fights to try and build me up in a smart way.
You've been doing a good job. 9 fucking turned fights. I mean, at least you're getting the offers.
Yeah. Exactly. That's what I tell people. I'm like, trust me, he's sending me fights.
Shit.
He's sending me the fights, and I'm saying yes. But
that's not on your guys'
we
end.
can't control these people saying no. So like, I'm sure he's still doing his thing. He's doing his work behind the scenes, and it's just my job to be ready for the call, ready for when he says, we got to fight.
Yeah.
So,
dude, with the 28, right?
26. Hey, chill out, bro.
2 years. Yeah. Wow, hey, man, we're 40 over here. Okay, okay, 40 over here. But man, with all the we talked about a lot of trauma. If you were to sum it up, man, looking back in hindsight's always 20/20. What would you say you learned the most out of your childhood?
Like my childhood,
like the benefits of it. I would say
childhood,
from like the failures and the being angry because your father had passed.
It teaches you, just like it taught me to grow up real quick, I learned the hardest lesson that anybody's gonna have to learn, that you're gonna lose your parents,
right?
And you're gonna lose more. Like I lost my boy Los a couple years ago, and that's like the worst lesson that we all are gonna learn and all are gonna have to go through. That like we're all gonna go someday. People we love are gonna go someday. So like,
you're gonna go someday.
Yeah, I'm gonna go someday.
Like hopefully not. But
that's like kind of a very broad lesson. But yeah, I learned that quick about death
at a young age, man. I mean, there's something to show for that.
Yeah. I mean, and like I said, it propelled me as an athlete. And I don't think I would like be as compassionate as I am or as caring as I am if I didn't go through all that bullshit. Because like, I'm a fighter and this and that, but also like, I treat people well.
Absolutely, man.
And I want people to be happy and like, you know what I mean? Maybe if I didn't go through all that, I wouldn't have that as compassionate mentality.
Yeah.
So yeah, I guess like, lesson from my childhood is a brutal one, and then like, if you want a little happier one, I learned like a lot of lessons as an athlete, how important it is to be an athlete and how important it is to be healthy.
Yeah.
How important, like I learned all about health and like now I feel like I got like a PhD in health because I've literally gone through all the trials and errors, and now like I got a certain regimen with my diet, with my supplements, with my training. Yeah. Like on a happier note, I learned a lot about athletics.
This is probably just for me, but then what are the basics when it comes to like nutrition? I don't want to get into the rabbit hole too much, but like, you know what I mean? Like give me like the basics, like a jab or something. You know what I
I would
mean?
just say protein over everything. You always
Okay,
more
okay.
protein, and then whole foods, like as much whole foods as possible. It's hard to get whole foods. It's expensive to get whole foods. But if you can get as much protein as you can from, real ground beef or real meat, steak, eggs, like I would say that's the most simple is protein over everything and keep it whole foods.
Keep it whole.
Yeah, keep it whole foods.
What's your like carb ratio to that?
I don't really, honestly, I got lucky with good genes. I don't have to worry about it too much. Like, I just keep it, what I tell everybody is I just keep it, everything's the same always. So like I always,
Consistency.
it's consistent.
Yeah.
So if I want to put on weight, I can just add a little carbs.
Right,
And then I'll put on weight. If I have a fight lined up, I'll start to cut the carbs a little bit. So like it's good to have just a baseline because then you can manipulate it and see the differences. Manipulate it and see the differences.
Yeah, and not adjust too big.
Yeah,
to where it's like you're off track.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, yeah.
So
like you said, baseline, right?
Yeah. So
yeah.
that's kind of where I'm at right now. My diet's so basic, and then for supplements, it's hard to get all the protein, so I do protein every day, a scoop of protein in a shake or something, and then eggs, ground beef, potatoes.
I like it, man.
Fruit, I like fruit. I've been big on fruit recently.
Yeah.
But
you think that's like the natural sugars, though? I guess it's if you overconsume anything. Anything's bad for you, right?
It's I'm in a weird spot because it's hard for me to put on size, and my first fight was at 25s, but I've been at 35 ever since, and we want to sit at 35.
Yeah.
But if I'm not strict with my diet, I'll drop down to like 148, 147, and that's not really where I want to be because some of these 35ers are big boys. They're big boys, and they can naturally get up to 165, 170.
Yeah.
My body will not get up.
Sure.
I would have to force myself for 6 months to put on that much size.
That's like a threshold.
Yeah, like so. I have to be super strict with my diet just to stay at like 153-ish, 152, 154-ish.
Yeah.
So that's why I keep it so simple, is just because it's easy for me to manipulate real easily.
Yeah. Dude, you know what, man? I really do appreciate you here coming here and those stories, about your childhood. No one has ever gotten in depth like that. And this is the whole point of the podcast. It's a self-improvement martial arts podcast. But then, man, you really got in depth with it. And I think you helped a lot of people out, after you hear this, because a lot of our things are just subconscious.
Yeah.
A lot of our trauma stems and then we grow up with it, but a lot of people get stuck there. That's the thing. And I think they need help,
And I will say that, like, I appreciate you saying that. I'm happy to share it. And if I can help anybody, of course, I'm happy for that. But
you're here. You are.
It is like it's a daily thing. Like, you gotta be on your toes every day with the mentality. Like, I still struggle with it every day. Not that like I struggle with depression or anything, but like life is a bitch sometimes. It's hard. Like I said, I'm in a very frustrating part of my career and my life. I'm waiting for my girl to get the visa. I'm waiting for a fight. Like, so it is something I still deal with every day. Some would say I'm grumpy sometimes, but like, we're trying, and it's in every day, and I'll still be dealing with it in probably 20, 30 years. It's a different battle in that.
Of course. Yeah. I mean, I guess, how I like my quotes, like the Buddha said, life is suffering, but as long as you can accept it, you'll be ready for it.
Yeah,
I mean, that's all it is. This is a whole challenge, but it's good for all of us. Man, Cam, I appreciate you, man. One of the best podcasts and one of the most profound podcasts I've ever done.
Go, baby. I appreciate you having me.
Let's go, dude.
Yeah.
Fuck yeah.